How we doing, guys? I wanted to go over something today that I was actually talking about with Armando. Armando, I told you I would do it. So what I'm talking about today is right here in the question on the bottom is, and if it's backwards, I'm sorry, I'll see this when I actually look back at the video, but it says, what is your purpose for the day, right? And I actually had heard Ben Bergeron talking about this, and it really made sense to me because that's kind of how I've been trying to approach my training nowadays is why am I coming to the gym and what is it I'm looking to get out of my workout? Am I just looking to come in here and compete every day, try to set a good time, try to beat Gary all the time? Or is it a day to practice the movement, to work on the mechanics of the movement, to make sure I'm doing this right? So let's go over this real quick. So we have practice, right? Let's say today I had my elements people, I just finished elements, they did 50 power snatches for time, right? So their goal isn't to really compete. They can, I did see a little bit people getting amped up from the other person next to them doing more, which is fine. But really their goal today is to practice, is to nail that movement in, right? To make sure that it's clean and fluid so that they can repeat the movement. And in the long run, they'll have better gains, they'll have better times, they'll be more efficient, they won't get hurt because they've taken the time to practice, right? I have this little slant right here, this line, what that signifies kind of is my, like, how training should go, right? It should be a significant, a slant upwards of getting better, of adaptation, right? So yeah, let's say you're rowing, right? And you're setting let's say 145 split time. Let's have a guy named Tom, right? We don't have any Toms in the gym. Let's have Tom and Tony. We don't have any Toms or Tonys. If we do, I'm sorry. So let's say Tom's rowing a 145 and Tony's rowing like a 155, and he's looking at Tom or the guy rowing the 145, right? And he's trying to keep up with him. He's trying to keep up with him, and he's working really hard. But you see him doing the row, and it's looking out of sync. He's gonna hurt himself, or he's just not gonna be efficient in the long run. He's gonna gas out. So if one of the coaches, let's say Justin, goes over to him and corrects him, he shouldn't get mad. Like, let me put myself in those shoes. I shouldn't get mad because Justin's trying to correct my movement and now I'm rowing a 202 instead of a 155. I shouldn't go, wait, I was rowing faster with the mechanics that I was using before. Because what Justin's trying to do is give you the mechanics to be better in the long run, right? He's fixing your movement so that now it might be slower because you're working so much, you're thinking a lot more about what you're doing, so you're gonna be slower. But in the long run, once it becomes second nature, once you lock in that movement pattern, you'll be able to go faster and be more efficient, save your energy. What if we do a row plus a run or a row plus snatch and something like that? You'll have more energy to get to that snatch and do more work. I hope that makes sense. So I have training up here as well. What do I mean by training? It's kind of the same as practice. Those two could honestly be together, but let's say today was we had a heavy power clean, right? Say it was like, I don't know if you guys ever heard of something like King Kong, where it's like heavy power clean, muscles ups, and all this crap. But let's say in a workout we have a one heavy power clean, then like a run, right? Maybe that day you're not meant to set a personal best. Maybe you're not meant to compete with. I'm not meant to compete with Andrew Marco on that day, right? Me and Marco, he's on a different level than me, but I'm always trying to beat him, and I'm always making jokes like, hey, I'm doing this, or whatever. But really he's like here and I'm like here. But maybe that day is not my day to beat Marco because he's gonna move that weight faster than me, but it is my day to RX that weight because I can lift it 10 times and there's 10 in the workout. Well, it's gonna take me a lot longer to do it, but because I'm gonna sit there and get that strength adaptation from it, I'll become better because of it. But I cannot look at it as a competition. I cannot look at Marco and try to beat Marco that day. I can get amped up by him, see him come in the gym, all right, I gotta get one done, and get faster because of it, but I can't let that get into my head and bring me down and make me think less of myself, right? So that's where my last thing is, where we have competition, right? Now competition, that's that day where it's your workout. Okay, I can RX the weight, right? I'm confident in the movement, and I'm coming at 4:30, so I can, go after Marco on that day. That's the day you come in and you compete, right? That's the day when you come in and you look for all the little ins and outs you can to try to beat Marco in that workout, right? Or whoever's the person that you compete with in the gym, right? That's the day you come in and you know that you're there to compete. You're not there to practice the movement. You're already good on the movement. You already trained. The weight is light enough per se for you to move it moderately, or the movement, you're proficient enough in your pull-ups that you can kip them out, right? that's when you compete, right? And honestly, that's up to you how many times you do that a week. But I only have to compete maybe once or twice a week, right? There's only like one or two workouts out of the week where I go look at the board. Other days, I don't even look at it. I don't even look at it because I don't want to get in my head of like, oh man, this is where I'm at. Because some of these movements, I'm still trying to practice. I'm still trying to train myself up to the weight so that I can be competitive. And that's when I can now be competitive and go after someone. But until then, try to refine that movement in. Try to find yourself the time to work your kettlebell swing, work your pull-up. Don't worry so much about what other people are doing. Worry about why you came to the gym and what you're trying to get out of it, because that will give you a steady progression of getting better and better, and you won't get hurt. God forbid, you won't get hurt. You won't get hurt. You won't get frustrated because you're not looking at everyone else and what they're doing, and you'll just become a better athlete, I feel like. And that's something I struggle with myself, and I just wanted to share that with you guys because it's something that, I had heard Ben Bergeron say first, and then Armando of all people. Like, not that I'm surprised by it, but we were talking today, and he brought it up. He's like, yeah, I've been coming in here and just trying to focus on what the goal is for the day. Am I trying to just get better at the movement or be competitive? And I was like, man, it's funny. Armando's a wise guy, but I was so like impressed that he brought that up, and I was like, I'm actually doing a video about that today, and you brought that up. So Armando, thank you again for this, man. I told you I was gonna do it, and here it is, man. So that's my 2 cents, guys. I'm going on about 6.5 minutes here, but have a good night, or if you see us tomorrow, have a good day, and I hope I gave you something to take away from this.